Tansei Guakina no, Sheila Thomas is Sinigasun, Kaministago Menehigo Skako Chinina, Muskigo Ninawakoche. Hello everyone, my name is Sheila Thomas, and I come from Cumberland House Cree Nation in northern Saskatchewan. And I come from the Swampy Cree people. We speak Swampy Cree, which is N dialect Cree. At the present time, I reside in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, where I attend as a graduate student at the University of Saskatchewan. And I've been a teacher for many years, and I've taught every grade, right from pre-K, kindergarten, all the way up to adults. And one thing that I see is important in decolonizing education and Indigenous leadership is the area of anti-racist education and anti-oppressive education. And, you know, in growing up, I grew up with my mother's family, Anishinaabe speaking family in Manitoba. We grew up in Winnipeg, my three siblings and I, and, you know, and living in that urban setting. And reflecting on that, you know, I grew up in low socioeconomic status, and I witnessed and endured several incidents of racism, stereotyping, and prejudice. And there were many times, you know, just the feeling of being invisible and empty and unworthy, and from there developing those trust issues. And so, you know, as an adult now, as a teacher, I want to be able to help Indigenous students not to have those feelings that I had growing up, and, you know, to be able to empower them with the tools and the knowledge to be able to overcome those barriers that are going to come their way, and helping them to empower and strengthening their worldview, and by giving them that voice, and by, you know, inspiring them to use their voice and to speak up when something is not right, and to take part in those protests that our people are partaking in towards Indigenous rights. So, and also teaching about cultural authenticity and who we are, because I struggled with my identity as an Aboriginal woman growing up as well. And I was always unsure if I was a true Indian, if I was the authentic Indian, because I couldn't speak my language. And as I grew up and I learned more of my worldview and my ways of knowing and the values, that really strengthened me. And the education that I had in the Northern Teacher Education Program, you know, as a second language learner, I want to instill that in others, that no matter who they are, they're still Indigenous, and nobody can tell them anything less. And teaching about colonial standards and, you know, all the racism that goes with that, the power, the imbalance of power and equality, the hegemony, the politics, the corporate standards, the whiteness, teaching them all about that and strengthening them that way, so that they can be able to stand when they have to face those really tough issues. The work that I do right now, I'm very fortunate to work with a cultural center where I'm able to develop curriculum in language and resources in language, and they're all developed from a First Nation perspective. And what I hope to gain from going on this trip to New Zealand is just to be able to exchange ideas and exchange ideologies and philosophies, and just come back with a mind full and a heart full of knowledge and wisdom. And I'm so grateful for this opportunity. Thank you for listening to me. Egose.